Hello and welcome to BikeWale. I am Neil and what we have with us today is the new NS200 and it gets an all new design and all new features like full LED lighting, a fully digital instrument cluster and even a slipper clutch.
नहीं बच्चा, इस बाइक में ये सब अभी भी नहीं है।
Okay, hold up. I'm just kidding.
And today, nearly 2 years after making that video, we are riding the 2023 Bajaj Pulsar NS200 at Bajaj's Chakan test track, and this motorcycle still does not get any of those features. But don't be disheartened because Bajaj Auto has tweaked the hardware, one, to further improve the handling department, and two, to enhance the rider safety. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything about it in detail. But before we go any further, make sure that you have subscribed to our channel and clicked on the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. So let's start with the design because that's one aspect of the Pulsar NS200 that has not changed a lot since the motorcycle was introduced almost a decade ago. So you've got a very familiar looking motorcycle with a single pod headlight at the front. Now do note that this motorcycle still continues to use a halogen bulb unlike the competition that offers LED lighting. Then underneath the headlight are these twin DRLs that have been carried forward from the previous model. Again, another styling element that is really appealing is this carbon fiber texture for the front fender, which adds a hint of sportiness to the overall package. Then moving on into the cockpit of the motorcycle, you are greeted by a very familiar instrument console that features an analog tachometer and a small digital display. Now, although the display does not have a wide range of information, Bajaj Auto has added a few extra elements and we'll talk about that in the latter part of the review. Keeping up with the design, there are these clip-on style handlebars, and although they have a clip-on style installation, they are quite tall set and they deliver an upright rider's triangle. More on that in the latter part of the review. Following the cockpit is a very familiar looking fuel tank with these shrouds that give it a very muscular look and a 3D Pulsar logo that enhances the premiumness of the visuals of the motorcycle. Following the fuel tank is a very familiar again split style seat, split style pillion grab rails and a twin LED tail light. While the styling remains unaltered, the newly added upside down front forks give the motorcycle a more muscular look. In fact, this is the only Pulsar branded motorcycle to receive upside down front forks. The build quality is satisfactory and the 3D logo give the motorcycle a more premium touch. The switchgear, due to the unavailability of a Bluetooth module, is basic, but the backlit setup is attractive and useful after dark. Would we have liked to see a newer design? Considering the modern styling that the newer Pulsar range packs, it would have been great to see a more modern look for the 2023 Pulsar NS200. But this model does not look out of style yet and still makes its presence felt in a segment that comprises the likes of TVS Apache RTR 200 4V and the Hero X-Pulse 200 4V. Where it doesn't match the rivals is the features department. Similar to the design, the feature list remains unchanged as well, and this may not appeal to the younger buyers. Rivals such as the TVS Apache RTR 200 4V and the Hero X-Pulse 200T 4V come with LED lighting and a Bluetooth module that works with a fully digital instrument cluster. These consoles work with a dedicated smartphone application and offer access to call notifications, message notifications, and even turn-by-turn navigation. In contrast, the 2023 Bajaj Pulsar NS200 continues to use a semi-digital console that comprises of an analog tachometer along with a compact digital display. Do note that Bajaj Auto has added a few more data points to the digital display and it now shows fuel economy and distance to empty figures. Then there are 2 trip meters, an odometer, a gear position indicator on the screen as well. The mechanical specifications on the 2023 Pulsar NS200 remain unchanged, and this motorcycle continues to use a 199cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled engine with a shorter stroke. Now this engine is tuned to produce 24.1 bhp of maximum power and 18.7 Nm of peak torque, and the engine is linked to a 6-speed gearbox. Now I'm going to fire up the motorcycle for you to hear the exhaust note, keep it at idle, then take it close to its mid-range and then closer to its red line. That's how it sounds at idle. That's close to the mid revs, which is around 5 to 6,000 RPM. And that's how it sounds closer to its red line. The engine characteristic remains unchanged and this motor enjoys to stay in the higher rev band. It starts to pull away cleanly from 3000 RPM all the way to the red line with a noticeable step up in acceleration post 5500 RPM. In the 6th gear, this motor can cruise at 80 km per hour at just 5500 RPM while 100 km per hour arrives at 7000 revs. At Bajaj's Chakan test track, we maxed the motorcycle at 139 km per hour. The braking setup partially complements this performance and the feedback from the front disc feels nice and progressive. The rear, on the other hand, when used solo, feels almost non-existent. As mentioned at the start of this first ride review, the 2023 Bajaj Pulsar NS200 gets hardware improvements and the latest iteration of the motorcycle uses upside-down front forks instead of conventional units on the previous version. At the back, on the other hand, it retains the preload adjustable rear monoshock. The braking setup includes disc brakes on both wheels, while the enhanced safety net now comprises dual-channel ABS instead of a single-channel unit on the older model. Bajaj Auto also claims that this motorcycle is 3 kg lighter than its predecessor. How does this new package work? The suspension setup, similar to the previous models, is tuned for spirited riding and thus it feels firm. But nowhere during the brief first ride review did the tuning feel too stiff or harsh, and one can easily live with this setup. This tuning works well with the perimeter frame and comes handy when going aggressive around the corners, making the motorcycle feel agile and confidence-inspiring. Now do note that Bajaj Auto had removed the center stand for track ride purpose and thus we cannot comment about the cornering clearance with this piece of hardware. The seat height of 807 mm makes it quite easy to mount the Pulsar NS200, and at 5 feet 10 inches tall, I can place both my feet flat on the ground with a decent enough bend on my knee. Now remember, at the start of this video, I told you that this motorcycle comes with clip-on style handlebars, but despite the clip-on style setup, the rider sits quite upright because the handlebar is quite tall enough. And then there are these neutrally positioned foot pegs that add a pinch of sportiness to the overall package. Overall, the Pulsar NS200 is quite a comfortable motorcycle to ride in the city. So what are our first impressions after riding this motorcycle for a brief amount of time today? Well, let's start with the positives. The motorcycle is an attractive looking product. It has a very enjoyable engine, and with the addition of upside down front forks, the handling has gone from good to better. But on the downside, it lacks the feature that the competition has to offer, which does rob away some points from the Pulsar NS200. But if you can live with those things, this is a really fantastic package and you'll enjoy riding it in the city or out on the highways.